When Azek Araman tried to do what he thought would be best, just like his own Primarch did, he ended up almost turning all of his legion into dust to save them. This was all in an attempt to cure the Thousand Sons of the Flesh Change, but in return, those that couldn't survive this incredibly powerful spell were turned into our topic of today, the Rubric. The Rubric, otherwise known as the Rubric Marines, are pretty much what's left of the disembodied sand spirits that inhabit the empty shells of their armor. All of these individuals were once proud Thousand Sons legionnaires, but they simply didn't have the psychic might or any psychic power at all to withstand the Rubric of Ahriman. Now, these individuals didn't exactly go on into the Never Never Land. Their physical forms were pretty much reduced to nothing but atoms and dust, while their souls still remained to inhabit the shells that they once wore as armor. So they remain in this weird limbo state, both alive but not being able to move on their own, while also not truly being sentient. So one might think that you may find these individuals useless, but that's not necessarily the case. They can still be given orders and commands by aspiring sorcerers amidst the Thousand Sons. When a sorcerer gives them an order, and once they fall into combat, then they can move more like their old selves, but they still need one of those sorcerers around. With the powers of the sorcerer being at their side, they can use their bolters, weapons, and otherwise freely as they once used to. And the bright side to being pretty much eternally dust is that you are technically immortal. And why do I say technically? Because should one of these Rubric fall in battle, although yes, their forms would be reduced to dust and it will pour out from all the cracks in their armor, when a strong enough sorcerer returns to the battlefield and recollects all the parts of their armor, they can reform that Rubric. Another thing that I want to highlight about the Rubric Marines is yes, they've lost their physical body, but their soul remains within the dust. And yes, I also highlighted the fact that they cannot necessarily move without the commands of a sorcerer besides them. But there's much more of the tragedy that befalls these once proud warriors. These Rubric Marines have lost their sanity, their minds are fractured, and they don't necessarily know who they were anymore. On the occasion, maybe they'll get a glimpse of the past of who they once were, but then it becomes nothing but a fleeing memory. There's an excerpt from All Is Dust that really goes into the description of the mind of a Rubric Marine. Helio Isidorus, a once Thousand Sun Space Marine that is now a Rubric Marine, goes into a great description. He talks about how he once had a name, but now it is an echo of the past. He speaks that he feels like he is fading, but never vanishing. He talks about how he wants to breathe, but cannot remember what it's like or remember how to. All that there is dust and emptiness. He has no mouth, yet he's been screaming for eternity. He has hands, but yet he cannot use them to touch. And the description just goes on and on of the tragic life that each and every single one of these Rubric Marines experience on the day-to-day basis. As you can see, the life of a Rubric, if you can even call it that, is beyond tragic and outright sad. But what else would you expect from nothing else than the grim dark of the far future? With that being said, thank you as always guys for listening, and I hope you all enjoyed this video. Drop a comment if there's anything you guys want to hear about next, and as always, remember to follow for more.